na-agakwa n'ihu ịgwa ndị be anyị eziokwu a nke ga-eme ka anyị pụọ n'oge agba nke abụọ ya. Anyị enyochawo wee chọpụtakwa na nke bụkwa eziokwu bụ na anyị ma ihe anyị na-eme n'otu n'otu. Anyị ma ihe anyị na-eme marakwa ihe na-eme anyị. Onye ohi mara ya na-ezu ohi, onye na-akwa iko mana enwere iwu nke isi, ọgansị mana ya na-egbu mmadụ, ejeji ekwensu mana ya bụ nke Chineke. Ịma ihe ị na-eme. Emeka nwanne m sị ọ na-eme na mgbe ahụ priwere bụ naanị ndị ọsọ anyị maara na-akpanwụcha mmanya na ọ ga-achị ihe ole. Taa anyị amarawo na ọ ka mma ịrụ fakịrị garị karịa nkeji pik na-adịbeghị anụ a ga-ata. Ebile mmanụ anyị n'onye bute ejant. Mgbe anyị hiwere chọkọletị n'ala, unu amaghị na unu na-eri ego ụmụ unu na ụmụ anyị na-eri n'ọdịnihu. Nke kwuru nke kedere ndị ojii na-ekpere ndị ọcha, ịma ihe ị na-eme. Onye tụrụ okwu na-agara ihe ofe chọrọ ịkpọ ụmụ ya ọnụ agụụ. Unu chere pọmpụ anyị ji na-agbapụ ma ọ bụrụ na ndị okwu mmiri dị n'aka nwechara tanka na-enyere ha mmiri n'otu n'otu. Onye bilie ọkpọ gọọmenti, onye bụrụ gọọmenti. Iwe ebe anyị na-abara ndị nọ n'ọchịchị ọ dị ka erigoro eme karịa. Ọ dị egwu. Ihe iji amụ ihe agwa nke ebe masị na onwere okwu. Were okwu tinye na ihe omeba ndị n'otu okwu ọnụ. Onye ụlọ ahịa ahụ resịrị m ihe chọrọ ịkwa ya mmanụ ụgbọala jiri pinye ọ bụ gọọmenti. Ọ ma ahụhụ o tinyere n'ime ya ihe mmadụ na-eme ibe ya. Ọ makwa ihe ọ na-eme. Ọtụtụ filin steshọn mana ihe a na-erecha anyị n'ala a bụ Chizọba, ọ bụghị fuel. Ya makwa ihe a na-eme. Ihe niile emite emite sọ mmiri ka m ahụ mee. Ihe ọgwụ afọ ọrụrụ isi awara anyị. Anyị aga-ekwusisi onwe anyị n'ọnọdụ iji ego. Ị ma mmadụ ole na-anwụ n'ala a kwa ụbọchị n'ihi ibite? Iresi mmadụ ibite ma eresiri ndị ibite. Afọ asaa anyị na-enwere ma ọ ga-adị m mma. Wickedness. Onye mechiri ụzọ mebie ihe o wetara ka ọ na-ewu. Onye sị na ya amaghị ihe anyị na-eme. Ịma ihe ị na-eme. Onye nchechi akpa ngwa ngwa ebe ọ na-eche nche. Ịma ihe ị na-eme. Onye hapụrụ okpukpe na ọrụ, nyere pụọ na mmehie ọ ga-akọrọ ụmụnna kọwa akụkọ chọọchị. Ọ ma ihe ọ na-eme. Ọkwa n'ozi ọma chọọchị. Nna, esi n'ịbụ onye amụma, i wee na-ahụ naanị ọnwụ, anaghị esighị ndụ. Ị na-ahụzọ ọchịchị, ị naghị ahụ ndị nọ ebe niile. Ndị enyi m gara ebe. Ịma ihe ị na-eme. Kama dị na ndị ahịa gị, unu etupụtara ọka ndị Tifes kwuru n'ubi. Isi nye gị narị naira, inye m puku nde. Na-esi unu, ogbenye ọnọdụ ya. Omego, ịma ihe ị na-eme. Ndị a na-agwakwa unu na-ajụkwa ajụjụ. Onye hụrụ ụzọ ọmasị ibe ya. Ụwa bụ ejiri okwu kpuchie aka. Onye nweta ọsọ ibe ya nwetara. Abụ dị n'ezi iwe dị obi. Onye hụrụ ibe ya n'anya. Onye ọbụla pretenda. Mgbe ọma n'ụtụtụ ma ọjọọ n'ụtụtụ. Anyị ma ihe anyị na-eme. Ụfọdụ ajụrụ ịsụ ọhịa ama nta ọka. Eburu ọkụ na-eji ọrụ, ị na-arahụ ụra. Ịma ihe ị na-eme. Emechaa eburu ịkọrọ gị ụzọ mara mgbe ọ gara. Ofu ụbọchị ndị nta nji ya gbara gị. Ọ bụrụ na mụ bụ pastọ na-ezite ozi ọma, isi m ekwesịghị ịta ka ejiri nye onyinye. I wee si na windo hapụ ọnụ ga-esi apụta n'ụlọ m. Akwụkwọ nsọ m si n'ibụ onye ohi. Ya na ọ ga-adịba ụbọchị ị ga-agba anyị oku. Onye ihe ya ọ bịa chie kie.
May God bless you for coming once again to Nnennaya Biafra TV Treasury of Excellent Knowledge. I am your servant evangelist, Nnennaya Anya. I greet you. Good afternoon from my base. The time from here is 12:43 noon. I also greet you most especially on behalf of the owner, the Lord, the Creator, the Redeemer, the Savior of the whole universe, Jesus the Christ. I greet you on my personal behalf, and I welcome you with high regard. I want to continue with the topic that I hinted us about yesterday, as in part 8 of yesterday, today being part 9 of this topic, identifying and dealing with the thieves in IPOB. We should be lying to ourselves, and we should continue to live in illusion and in denial if we pretend that there are no thieves in IPOB, or we play sentiment not to speak the truth or to identify and deal with the truth because of the people who are responsible for the thievery. Then it becomes a hypocrisy, it becomes a nepotism, it becomes deception leading to self-destruction. Because in this Biafra struggle we are into, there is no greater work than building IPOB properly and on the proper foundation. That is the greatest work. Forget about all the exposés against the Nigerian government, against the international communities, against all those things. I don't say that they are not important, but it takes spiritual eyes. It takes exceptional discernment and reasoning to understand that the greatest work we have in the Biafra struggle is to build a sound foundation, and that foundation cannot be built elsewhere apart from building IPOB in a proper way. As all of us know, we have been suffering. IPOB has been suffering internal conflicts. We have been suffering internal crisis, and it is as a result of improper building of IPOB. And by my own speculation, I can repeatedly say that there must be an involvement of at least one IPOB member in the selling out of our leader, Nnennaya Kanu, for his extraordinary rendition. So it is what's being talked about, and it is what being reasoned about, and the report and the record being kept for present and the succeeding generation, for meditation and for learning to be built in every organization, every movement, every group of people, as in union, as in family, or whatever. Because without the appropriate orientation and the appropriate characteristics of the individuals who make up any organization, the organization can never in any way function. And it is a continuation of Nnennaya Anya and Kanunta Kanu leading stealing in IPOB. I have explained a lot about this yesterday from the video made by Prince Darlington, aka Mazi Okbaleze Chukwubikem. The video he made on, I believe that should be Saturday, and the title of that video, let me go back to the title of the video he had made. So this is the title. Simon Ekpa wants to turn this struggle to money venture. Am I really right? Is it this video that I should use? Let me check very well. So while I am explaining, I'll be checking once again. Okay, that is precisely against Simon Ekpa. No, that is not the video I should use. I have located the video that I should use. Yes, Nnennaya Anya, Kanunta Kanu. Yeah, this is the video. Then I played it. It is a 3 hours 29 minutes video, and I played it to each 1 hour 44th minute. So I will start it once again from each 1 hour 43 minutes. I will start it once again from each 1 hour 43 minutes, then playing it to the end, and without further delay, because all of the preamble had been built in the first part. Now this is the second part, and this is the video. This is the video. Then from enlargement, I will enlarge it so that it will appear on the center. Yeah, so this is the video with which I was streaming yesterday, and I will continue with it right away. I will continue with this video right away.
When I saw that update, I was so convinced that thing, it went viral. People begin to share it. And don't forget, this is when Master said that we should go into prayer for 150 days. I don't know how we go spread it. People were trying to share it. And Master said, someone contacted me, what are you doing? Why are you sharing this? And people have been sharing it from your platform. What happened? Is someone still coming online? I said, that is how I was told. He said, who told you? I said, find more. Somebody told me the Soyedu is coming. Because it was Soyedu's original Facebook account that posted. Caroline Ograf or Madama Brown when you posted this thing. Sometimes I would like to keep quiet as much as the Facebook became. But the spirit that is behind much of the Facebook became will say, no, you can't keep quiet. When I will even face the camera begin to talk, I won't know. Whatever it will cost, I will take the credit. But I have spoken.
This is the day Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was supposed to broadcast, and we never knew that he had been extraordinarily abducted and taken to the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Fine boy Emmanuel Kanu reporting to Darlington, as well as Kanunta Kanu reporting to Darlington that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was okay. Kanunta Kanu said, he reported to him that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was on the mountain praying, that he couldn't come for broadcast, while Emmanuel Kanu reported that he would definitely broadcast that day. And it happened that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never went to any mountain to pray that particular day. And this is as a result of Kanunta Kanu playing smart to cover the secret to announcing to Biafrans that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had been rendited, extraordinarily rendited, how he was rendited, and for what, and who rendited him. The report had not been properly explained to Biafrans by Kanunta Kanu until today. And according to Darlington, Caroline Okorafor, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's personal secretary, who is not an IPOB member, tweeted with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's Twitter handle. That tweet is a pretense and a manipulation to make Biafrans believe that it was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tweeting, while it was not him tweeting, while it was the secretary. And the secretary up to today had not come to confess that she is the one who tweeted that. Nelly Ofebu came with such an allegation last year that repeating, just talking exactly what Darlington has just repeated. This is to say that allegation now is now confirmed to be truth from Nelly, and affirmed by Darlington. It is actually truth. So I am not now trying to vindicate Nelly for any reason, so that people will not misquote me and misinterpret and misunderstand me. But it is all about investigation, bringing one matter to another, joining them together to establish a fact and to detect the falsehood between what had taken place and what people had said, and their actions and their reactions and their inactions. From there, we begin to come closer to the truth. Now, because of matters arising, it is now obvious that Kanunta Kanu was aware when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was rendited, but he tried to cover it up. And the planning together with Caroline Okorafor, who is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's personal secretary. So actually, there are IPOB members, of which Kanunta Kanu is one, who knows about the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but we cannot categorically say that they are the people responsible to framing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu up until we get an undeniable evidence for that. But however, they knew and they covered, they pretended that they never knew. Then we'll begin to reason on our own. Why did they pretend? Should it be that they are responsible for setting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu up? or do they have any interest in the extraordinary rendition against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? What should be their motive? Or does their pretense help to build IPOB and progress Biafra struggle, or does their pretense sabotage the Biafra struggle we are into? This is how we should rationalize the whole thing. And coming to the truth, their pretense can never in any way help to progress the Biafra struggle. Rather, it must always be a sabotage to the Biafra struggle. So let us keep listening. Let us keep listening to Prince Darlington.
For the people who care to listen. I was condemned in this struggle. I was called out of them. I was insulted. But I thank God today everybody is seeing what is happening. So that very day, as the pastor said, no, if Onyendu will come online, Onyendu will use his Twitter handle to tweet that is coming. Did he tweet? I said no. I asked him, have you spoken to Onyendu since 5 years? I said no. I haven't spoken to him. I became more worried. I said anyway, let me see. I need to talk to Kanunta Kanu, who is the hero with Onyendu. Let me confirm from Kanunta Kanu. What happened? I called Kanunta Kanu, and it's like he was driving. He was on the steering, the way he was sounding. I said, man, seriously, please, I want to verify from you. How is Onyendu? Where is he?
Kingsley is Kanunta Kanu.
This thing was happening on the 5th day of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kidnapping. The Kanunta Kanu that is coming out now to attack people and call us research card freedom media warriors. He said that Onyendu was on the mountain. And to one I say, shaking the open door. Kanunta Kanu didn't know. They were going to be the Papa when I hope I will, so I don't want to on this platform, but because of this now, I'll open this line. Because you may likely want to call, and I will take a call. There are many of us can also want to call. I will open the line. I'm very kind of person that if you want to talk to me or defend yourself in my platform, I will not allow you. I will allow you, but when I talk to you, I allow you to talk. You will talk, I will talk. What happened? Kanunta Kanu told me that Onyendu was on the mountain praying. I said, but somebody, Fine Boy said that Onyendu is coming to broadcast the box. That is why I'm trying to confirm from you if it is true or false. He told me that Onyendu is on the mountain praying. Onyendu is on the mountain praying. I've already posted it as Emmanuel stipulated. I said, I posted it too. It's okay, but I've told you that when you on the mountain praying, speaking in any way. I was kind of, what is happening to me? Immediately I dropped the call from Kanunta Kanu, who told me that Onyendu is on the mountain praying, was on the mountain praying. The 50th day, not the first, not the second, not the 50th day. I said, okay, I went on my platform, I brought that particular post down because the person that is in Europe with Onyendu have confirmed to me that he's on the mountain praying. That is why nobody has reached it for the past 5 days. But the person who is in Nigeria told me that Onyendu is coming. So I should take as you go with the person that told me that Onyendu is on the mountain praying, instead of the person that is not with him, that I saw that he is coming without any evidence. I brought that particular update down. You understand that, Monty? Because all of my problem now, they don't want me to speak. They don't want me to talk. They want to shut me down. But I have, out of the respect and love I have for the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu itself, I've kept quiet enough. It is time for me to come up and speak. I said, okay. I brought it down. Then I went back to Master Former.
Master Prophet prophet Kanunta Kanu and some others never wanted him to speak. And this is one of the greatest problems we are having in IPOB. When people try to shut the truthful mouth up, it is not just about them. The worst set of people are those who will begin to support them because they are Mazi Nnamdi Kanu siblings and the in-laws. They bring nepotism, they bring sentiment, they bring hypocrisy and the partisanship into what we are doing. While it is all about knowing the well-being or the affair of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whether he was all right or not. If he was all right, very good. But if he was not, what could we do then to help him out? That is the reason for all these things. And the delay is dangerous. And if something was done very, very urgently, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu might have been rescued in Kenya without permitting these people taking him to Nigeria. And if he was rescued in Kenya, even he might not even go to prison in Kenya because he has committed no crime. The reason they took him to Nigeria is that they will take him there where they will decide to treat him any way they like, because Nigerian government do not respect their own rule of law. They only respect it when it favors them. Then whenever it is against their activities, then they will abandon that law and do whatever they wish and justify it with their guns and with their political tyranny. So that is Nigerian government to you, because all is aimed at that fulanization. So the sentimentalists in IPOB are the people contributing very tremendously to sabotaging this Biafra struggle by, when they see evil going on and they know those perpetrating the evil, they decide to shut the mouth of those who stand up to speak against the evil. So without IPOB changing from this hypocrisy, the Biafra struggle can never go beyond the stage it is. I am assuring you. So this is the reason I do what I am doing, pointing out the weaknesses of individuals and collective people right inside IPOB, and ensuring that people begin to understand and begin to change, to amend, because it is our mindset. The greatest problem we have, the foundation of our slavery is laid on our own mindsets, the wrong mindset, the slavish mindset, because those who have hands and those who are aware about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's rendition and they kept quiet, they are the people who have laid the foundation of this problem we are suffering now. We have been talking about how to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now for over 1 year, yet he has not been released because the evil prevailed, the evil and evil people prevail when it happened. And the worst part, the reason evil prevail everywhere and the slavery continues is the good people keep silence. The good people choose to keep silence in the presence of evil. And at times, the good people, another thing is the sentimentalists choosing to fight for their selfish favoritism in the presence of evil, when they should help to eradicate the evil and they deal with the perpetrators of those evils. That is what has happened, and most of us would not have known until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was rendited, and this is what I've been fighting for barely 2 years before that happened. I began this fight since 2019, late to middle of 2019. The corruption, the internal corruption of IPOB is the greatest challenge we have in the Biafra struggle. The external ones are minors. Just check all those people fighting the external struggle very tremendously. You see them sabotaging the same IPOB. So the take the attention of our people externally to be looking outside, while they will from the foundation destroy the movement, if not by the grace of God. And by the grace of God, you're using people like us who still remain with our integrity to keep the Biafra struggle progressing.
And as I said, I'm sure this thing I posted, Kanunta told me that man is praying on the mountain. So, and I posted it, so I brought it down. I went on my platform again, and I wrote, I said, Biafrans, I'm sorry for this misinformation. William Duke is not coming to broadcast this evening. Everything I'm saying is from exactly go there and see it. None of them is anything. I don't delete anything. For posterity to check a balance. I was a little bit relieved that my leader is on the mountain praying, because it happened within the period of time he asked us to be praying. We are praying Psalm 1 to 1 there. I went and sat down. But I was not relaxed. I was not happy. My spirit was still telling me that Onion Duke is not, that something is wrong somewhere. But I said, I was not happy. Even Kinataworu was even restless. Some of the questions, Alpha, have you reached Onion Duke? I said, no, I haven't. And anybody I begin to contact people, no one will give it here. Now, Alpha, nothing. Nobody reached him. But Kanunta is the person that wrote that Onion Duke is coming to confuse the Biafrans that Onion Duke was coming. Kanunta posted that thing to take our men away, to make us not to believe that something has happened to Onion Duke, to keep us above, to keep us going, that everything is okay. Whoever that told her to post that, I don't know. However she posted that, I don't know. Biafrans, I don't know who Sumas Nnennaya Anya, but my spirit in me told me that somebody close to him will sell him. I have not mentioned any name of anybody in the business same as Nnennaya Anya, because when Nnennaya Anya come out, he will tell us who sold him, tell us what happened to him. But I am telling you the ordeal that I passed through in this struggle, where people castigated me because I was trying to defend this same as and the structure that Nnennaya Anya left behind. And I was misinterpreted that it was the wrong timing, which I apologize for. But that wrong timing has not done, because that reason why I was doing what I was doing then has not deteriorated into even insulting those that have been fighting to defend the structure that Nnennaya Anya keep on the ground. Now, we cannot talk about the US. He said that they are gangs, that they are forming cabals, that US is not cabals. That is the tweet of the Kanunta Kanu. If the brother of the man that people are taking risks dying for his sake can come out and be attacking the people that are dying for the sake of his brothers, what do you think? Is that guy normal? So when he said that Onion Duke was on the mountain, I rested my case, but I was not dressed. I was not at rest. He says, stay at that. He said, won't stay at that. Normally, Nnennaya Anya cannot spend 48 hours without just talking to me. It's either I write him a reply, or he writes me. These two things, what must happen within the space of 2 days. Sometimes I made it as a word that no day that I will not talk to him. But he will see him. Sometimes when he's broadcasting, if there's any information in there, before he mentions something, I'll give it to him. That is to tell you how punctual I am. And I make sure that I am having data to stay online, to do all
That is the mother, Naya Brown. That is Uchenna Okorafor's mother, Uchenna Caroline Okorafor's mother. And that is, that Naya Brown, I think that is the same Madam Oyibo. Am I really correct? I stand to be corrected. I'm always a bit confused about who is the particular, that really the Madam Oyibo. I don't know whether if it is that Caroline Okorafor's mother that is Madam Oyibo or another woman. So, trying to reach out to him when he was trying to expose him. And these people are so desperate that at times, if time is not taken, rather than to allow someone or some people to expose their evil, they will prefer to assassinate the person. And the most dangerous side of it is when the person bases in Biafra land, just as Prince Ellington bases in Biafra land. We are hearing about late Waka Waka, and Prince Ellington has, in one of his brokers, revealed that Waka Waka used to expose the evil, the bad eggs among the Biafra struggle right inside IPOB. And she was set up and being assassinated. When he was exposing George Onibe, he made mention, calling them about one or two people whom George Onibe was involved to set up as well. So, when we are talking, we are not joking. There are people who have come not to restore Biafra, but have come to make merchandise of the Biafra struggle. And when they are not allowed to continue with their evil, they will begin to fight both the struggle and those who oppose them. That is what pissed me off the most, is some people who claim they really want freedom supporting the perpetrators of evil, and they continue to progress. And when the evil becomes prevalent in IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily rendited. So we do what we do to prevent those people from reaching to the extent they want to reach. But the gullible ones among the members of IPOB support such people by sentiment or by whosoever. Like, for example, there are people who hate me in IPOB, and for the fact they hate me, even if I speak the truth, they will prefer to support a different lie from another person just because they hate me. Not because the lies will help us. Not because the truth I am speaking will not help us to getting the result we need. But just because they hate me and they don't like to support me in anything. Some people are like that. Some people are like that. So I'm just using myself as a case example. This is an experience millions of us are having right inside IPOB. So if we continue that way, the result we are witnessing today is just a template of the results we'll be achieving. But if we really mean well that we want to get our freedom, it is our collective responsibility to be policing everybody, to ensure that everybody among we the IPOB members walk in the path of good conduct. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had been doing all this while. That is the reason he expels people every now and then, those who do not want to abide by the IPOB code of conduct under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And those who were expelled from IPOB, some of them have their hands in fighting the IPOB. Some of them are responsible to the IPOB internal crisis we are having today. But it shouldn't be so. We can't get our freedom like that. And you see some of the erring people, because they are expelled or because they are suspended, they will begin to support the enemies to fight against the Biafra struggle. So these are the people we are fighting against. When I talk about building IPOB, it is all about realizing the errors going on and the errors going on and in IPOB and the sabotaging the Biafra struggle, and those who are responsible to perpetrating those errors, then to begin to deal with those people based on how they operate and the punishment or the correction of any kind they deserve.
You want to talk to me? You want to speak to me? That she is not what I thought. Why am I saying this against her? Why am I spoiling her name? I said, Madam, stop calling me because I have nothing with you. Nnennaya Brown has so many fake accounts. She went on inboxing people, buying people against me. There are people in this struggle that I took oath with that are fighting against me. It's a coach. Because of Nnennaya Brown have bought them over. Nnennaya Brown have sent them money. They are on the ground. I know about one or two of them. I'm not going to mention names.
And as such,
They will call me. They are the people that gave my number to Nnennaya Brown.
As such, may even
Because they have my direct number.
as such may even plan to set him up. That is what we are talking about.
I say all this. I should tone down. I should stop all this. That when you do this in the hand of the enemy, we are not supposed to. Okay, when you do this in the hand of the enemy, so that I shouldn't talk, so that people use somebody to scatter everything that the enemy have worked for. I banned phone on her and I blocked her. If you people doubt it, I will show you the numbers she used to call me that I banned. So my phone. Nnennaya Brown begin to contact all the media warriors. They should come against me. They should speak against me. They should fight me. They should deal with me. This was happening for a purpose. This was happening for a purpose. And only people who can be in heaven knows why it was happening. And he was my strength in this struggle. What has happened to me in this struggle, if it happened to so many people, they will just chill out and go and sit down and start their normal lives and just sit their first struggle. Forget about the movement. What has happened to me in this struggle? Because when you find out don't you think you're not going to struggle with the Nnennaya Brown thought, let me know your secret. She contacted hundreds of people sending messages against more women of LS. So many messages against me. She said a whole lot. So many things against more women of LS. Which I have evidence of some of the conversation of Nnennaya Brown with some of the people that understood the fight I was fighting. The battle I was fighting, some people quickly understood it. And one of the people I'm going to mention them is Iken that knew that I was fighting the battle. Just as he had a little bit different idea of sensibility that I was fighting that battle at the wrong time when everybody is down with emotion. He was the first person that brought me to his platform. He said, "Come, I want you to speak. The others want to hear from you." I told him I'm not coming to speak on your platform. He begged me. And because of that, I respect him. He said, "Come, when the movement is around here." Again, I spoke. But Nnennaya Brown went and said to him, those people to tell them, go and attack him, go and break him down, go and deal with him, go and do this, go and do that. Nnennaya Brown, I have your telephone number and every evidence of everything I'm saying here. The people you messaged, the people you told to attack me, you begin to call me a saboteur. Because Biafrans, between myself, Nnennaya Brown, and his daughter who posted that Mazi is coming to broadcast, knowing fully well that Mazi was apprehended by the enemy, who is a saboteur. Then,
Simon Ekpa refused to take oath. Uchenna Okorafor brought Simon Ekpa and convinced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to endorse him and acknowledge him. So it becomes a thing of who knows who. So it becomes a thing of connection. The Nigerian system playing out in the connection of Simon Ekpa, and it no longer was the issue of merits. Simon Ekpa never initially merited to be acknowledged and endorsed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu according to IPOB rules. I am not trying to insult Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because I know many people will try to misinterpret me and misquote me. However, for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, endorsing Simon Ekpa and acknowledging him was a mistake. It doesn't matter who convinced him. It doesn't matter what took place. And now Simon Ekpa has become a great threat to this Biafra struggle, as most of us know. And those who pretend they do not know, and those who are gullible, who do not care to know, and the sentimentalists. So even if he has not been, it wasn't the right thing to do. And this is one of the things that cause more problems in IPOB. Nepotism sentiment, favoritism, because a lot of people like myself, at least I have been in the Biafra struggle 2 years or over 2 years before the arrival of Simon Ekpa, and I had been broadcasting all this while. But because I always speak the truth, and even when the truth is against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I speak the truth. That is the reason I was sidelined. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was giving his acknowledgement, he never mentioned me. Not that I never deserved it, not that I never merited it. Even the broadcasters, they know that I broadcast better than even half of the people Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had acknowledged. But they decided to ignore me because I speak the hard truth. And I will never compromise from speaking the hard truth, because only the hard truth can salvage us. And it doesn't matter, because I will speak it. You may hate me for it, you may reject it, but I will wait for you when the failure will come, and I will begin to use your failure also to make more broadcasts. So it was a favoritism that played out, because Simon Ekpa was acknowledged very, very promptly, and as a result, as a favoritism, because he was being introduced by someone in the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's personal secretary, and this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's personal secretary is not, even until today, is not an IPOB member. She becoming the one to recommend Simon Ekpa to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu finally endorsed Simon Ekpa and acknowledged him, even without taking an oath. Even until today, Simon Ekpa has not taken an oath. And that means Simon Ekpa is not actually an IPOB member, because he has not been attending IPOB member meetings properly, and he was lying that he was under oath. There are some of his videos he had made, of which at least I covered 1 or 2 videos when he says so. So if that should be a case, I will go and trace 1 or 2 of the videos and bring it to tell the Biafrans that actually Simon Ekpa was claiming to be under oath. Now it is obvious he is not under oath, because recently he had confessed by himself that he was not really under oath. So the madam, Nnennaya whoever Brown, Uchenna Okorafor's mother, Uchenna Okorafor's mother was the one who administered oath to Simon Ekpa, and contrary to the proper procedures of IPOB to ministering oath online to Simon Ekpa, whereby in IPOB the person should go to the unit closest to him or to her. So the right place Simon Ekpa should took his oath should be his closest unit there in Finland, where everything will be physical and practical. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made a great mistake for that. So this is one of the contributing factors to the situations we are into. As I've said, I'm not saying it to insult Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but I am saying it for us to learn, for Mazi Chikedozen to learn, for China Sangoru to learn, for all of us to learn. And the same thing is still playing out. We are talking about Nnennaya Anya and Kanunta Kanu leading stealing in IPOB, and they have been responsible for IPOB financial fraud, which was reported to them since last year, and they have pretended that it wasn't true until today. Now, Darlington is affirming it once again. What had been the action? I heard as a rumor, because I never had any proper information about that Nnennaya Anya had been expelled. If she had been expelled, that is good, and she deserved to be expelled. Then what is the next line of action? That is the matter at hand. But let's keep listening to him.
But Naya Brown was moving from one place to another, condemning me, calling me names. Because there was a platform where Naya Brown formed. She was given a post in America. And because of her accent, because of her movement, because of her body actions, our leader removed her from that post. And I was saying there was a man called Felix Windison that was sacked in IPOB. Naya Brown was still working with them. Their friends, I hope you are listening. She was still fighting with them. Where they added me, I've always been the target of all the enemies. Israel. They have been trying to get hold of me, but they cannot, because I am an obedient son. I'm an obedient child. I am dedicated to walk according to instruction under the command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. To walk under the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's command. So many of you hated me many months ago because they were calling me name. I said, my name, tell me, President did this. This is Motua. They have been sold out. They have collected money. They have done this. They have done that. So many of you that are here now, commenting now, have insulted me one way or the other. I said, insulted me. Not knowing that I was staying on a very hot seat where I am trying to protect the interests of Mazi. I was trying to protect the interests of the electorate of state. I was trying to protect Mazi Chikedozie and every other person involved. So the call Master Prophet came online, began to talk, to fight everybody, all in the name of whatever they think they know. Now, when you look at all these things I'm explaining to you, you understand that if a brother to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu confidently told me that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was on the mountain sleeping, on the mountain praying, being a brother to him, then the person that posted that he was coming online because being Uche Okorafor, then the mother also that created a particular forum where she was doing her evil, and they formed that forum and they added me in that forum. They added me in that forum. And when I entered that forum, what I saw in that forum, the way I operate is whenever I see anything that is wrong, I show it to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu straight. I don't want to say to me direct, not to any other person. To me direct, not to any other person. Send it to me.
IPOB top principal officers were angry with him for exposing criminality going on in the platform where they joined him. This is what I have been saying. I have just detailed it in the part 8. That is the previous one before this particular program on this topic. Many top principal officers in IPOB are involved in criminality and most especially financial fraud and the battle to taking over power in IPOB and the fight against those who reveal their evil and the corruption, and they are part and parcel of those who have set IPOB in the situation it is today. And if we cannot correct their error, why are we still struggling for the Biafra restoration? It makes no meaning, because it will actually mean that the terrorists among us and the cabal among us have hijacked the struggle to merchandise it for their selfish interest, while we will be wasting our time and resources hoping without assurance. We begin to exhibit empty hope that maybe all of a sudden, or maybe by happen chance, we will just get Biafra, when we have sabotaged the real principles to getting the Biafra back.
At the end of the day, they understood me. They said, okay, you did the right thing because you need to report to us based on his instruction. It is alright, it's all understood. Then to my greatest surprise, to have proper investigation, which then Ukora went and began to write them some principal officer, which you can mention yesterday, so that she is sacking them. One the one I will say, if I go somewhere with you, I may not have money to give you. I may not have car to lease you. I may not have a car to take you there. But be rest assured that I will definitely restore with you and come back with you. If you have a problem, I will stand with you. I will not run away. I will stand to fight that trouble until both of us get out of it. That is me. When you feel this is man, and that is why man cannot listen to any wrong advice against me. So we are friends. If Kanunta Kanu is intelligent and smart, intelligence is different from smartness. If Kanunta Kanu is intelligent and smart, when he messed up by not exposing the adoption of us and his brother, and the leadership stood to protect him, to defend him, so that we can move forward, not giving the enemies any chance to penetrate. You would have lied low. You would have lied low. Not you would have lied low. Radio Biafra today that will watch this program, they will be shocked. So all this has happened, and President was still being Malay. President was still being attacked. President was still being sacked from the BCB admin because of this Nnennaya Anya. So you saw it happening. But I was so many of them will not come out to talk. I was saying they will not come out to talk. You feel that what happened? Because men are money to another man. That is why sometimes you know when they go, maybe if you go and kill it, you cannot delete it. You have seen it already. I don't hear anybody be annoyed. But anybody that insulted me in this struggle out of ignorance, anybody that insulted me or called me any name out of ignorance, not knowing what I knew, that led me to come out there and begin to speak. Whether you apologize or not, I forgive you. That is the kind of person I am. And that is why when Simon the believer came to say President told us, trying to make people think that I am with him, I came out in the open and said, allow them. You said they have insulted me, yes. You said that they have malign me, yes. You said that all those things, yes, they are my brothers and they are my sisters. Allow them to insult me. I thank God that today, the same people that insulted me, the same people that wrote against me, have acknowledged the fact that I was right all this while. My apology was based on the personal insult I gave to Nnennaya. The program is there, go and watch. And I want to acknowledge one of our brothers called Osama Page. Osama Page he wrote so many things against me. And gave me just to make sure that they brought me down. But at the time, Osama Page began to realize that he was also deceived. And he tendered apology on his platform today to personality. And I acknowledge it. Osama Page, they got the kids for kids that work at the one. Nobody is above mistake. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how many times were you able to stand up. When you make mistake, were you able to correct that mistake? Just as I came out and said, I am sorry to all IPOB worldwide. If my disposition there have caused anything to any one of you, but I believe that someday I will be vindicated, and today is happening. That Nnennaya Anya that everybody is protecting is the same woman who is threatening people up and down. Once you speak against Kanunta Kanu, Nnennaya Anya will come to you, begin to write you, begin to harass you. She has harassed so many people. Evidence is abound. There's one call, all of them call every model that sent me 30,000 naira to buy car and share to Biafra warriors.
If anyone speaks against Kanunta Kanu, Nnennaya Anya will come after the person, beginning to threaten the person. And all these things had been going on. It is the same Nnennaya Anya that some of the, or even the majority of the IPOB media warriors are defending just sentimentally, hypocritically, and nepotistically. These are the problems we are having, the same Nnennaya Anya. The same Nnennaya Anya, because when our people have the concept of, no, she's a member of the DOS, you don't have to talk about her, you don't have to challenge, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do. Then reporting to them, this is the evil this person is perpetrating. No, don't just forget about it. Talk another thing. Expose the external enemies. Do this. Don't you see the Fulanis are killing our people? Should this be what we are talking about? Look at where it has landed us. Look at where it has landed us. This is the kind of battles we have been fighting all this while, that people misunderstand us, because I have my own issue, but my own issue is not it's not a major component of this program. So I just want our people to be reasoning over it. Nobody is above the law if actually that we want to progress. In every progressive society like Europe and other Western world, nobody is above the law. Because if you allow any person to be above the law to be doing anything the person wishes, another person will also begin to do it. And when you question the second person, then it will tell second person will tell you it is because you hate him, or it's because you have collected bribe from the first person, or it is because the person is from your community or from where. This is the sentiment, and the nepotism will become the order of the day. And in the end, it will turn out to be a quarrel among the people. That is the reason whenever anybody offends, the Westerners treat the person's offense without favoritism and with regard for rules of law, aimed at the progress of their communities. Where there is no law, the people perish. But wherever there is a vision, where there is no vision, the people perish. But where people obey the law, there is a success and great fortune for such a people. The Bible says so in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18.
Who was on every platform talking for one place or another, calling my name, shouting, I will do Christianity, I will make sure he is in this struggle, I will do this. Where is he now? Kanunta finished him. This is man, you are finished. You say you're going to finish it, at the end of the day you are finished. And wherever you are now, shame will be taking over your own sense of prison, your own body. And then you now prophet. This is man. That anything he says, that anything is evil, that anything is wrong, that anything is sin, that anything is sin. That woman, I was just watching because I know who I am. How will you go? You insulted me, you lied against me, you framed the whole lot against me, you said all manner of evil against me because Kanunta sent you and Kanunta finished you. By that comment alone, that when you send you message, when you tell you to say this and say that, which is lie, it was Kanunta Kanu that you are seeing as your own that sent you that message. And they finished you. Where are you today? Are you still talking? Are you still writing? Where are you today? I'm asking you. Where are you today? I'm just speaking. So therefore, those levels of freedom. This program I'm making today is a milestone. Look at my car, every big. Sell it and play it all over again and make use of every information you get from here. And I'm not making this program to intimidate anyone or to lie against anyone, but based on the fact and figures on the table that the whole world have seen. That is exactly why I am here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. To let you guys know. Now, I think we shall be Maka. We talk about female for yes, with the Aka from most of our wild people. We can't have female say that you are now for you. You can't cover it. It's like more. I think from Maka. So, what's the prophet and his in-law, Kanunta Kanu, to leave mass into the road? This is my fight and this is my stand. If Master Prophet and the Kanunta Kanu refuse to leave mass alone, I want them to know that attack on Chikilosim is an attack on Mass Kanu. Attack on Chikilosim is an attack on IPOB leadership and movement. And men have given their lives. Men have died. It's not all about being in Germany. It was like I can't even get out of it. See, when you make because 1 million, when you say about 1 million, man will issue cash. For come here, I say, natural balance. Because
this is the major issue for this program. Hey! it is not only alleging Darlington that he was sacked or he was chased out or he was removed from the palace, from the family palace, the Afaruku Kingdom Palace, as led by Onyeze, late Okukano, Israel Okukano, and the Lolo Meme Okukano. That was not just the case. The case is that Kanunta alleged Darlington of stealing money from the palace, and in return, Darlington had come to let Biafra know that it is really Kanunta Kanu who stole money from the palace, and had explained how he stole the money, which is evidential, and at the same time, he was not sacked from the palace. He was not sacked from the palace, and he was still operating in the palace until the time the Nigerian military invaded the palace. But this time around, because of the IPOB crisis and whatever, he decided, and someone living in Biafra land, he cannot be moving freely. And most especially the reason for him being in the palace is because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Then in the part one, he says, okay, yes, he may not be going to the palace at the moment, but he will be visiting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu probably whenever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or even all this while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been appearing in court, maybe in one or two occasions he had tried to be there, and even if he comes out, he may decide to be visiting him. So it is not compulsorily, and the truth of the whole matter is that he was not sacked. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never sacked him. Nobody sacked Okpala Ezechukwu became from the palace. It is just all about allegation, and the reason of the allegation is because Mazi Okpala Ezechukwu became had been policing them very, 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 very tightly, and they want to use it as a medium to chancing him without them knowing that he will react to it. So the making of this program by Mazi Okpala Ezechukwu became his reaction, and this reaction, his reaction now has provided us with evidence that Kanunta Kanu is actually one of the thieves, the greatest thieves we have in IPOB, with undeniable facts and the figure. But the problem is that even many IPOB members will begin to turn against me for speaking the truth. This is a problem we are having.
On that very day, I mean, I was everywhere. I started to dress when I'm done with it. As I will keep saying it. Let's for 5 million. Kanunta, we took it.
8.5 million. In 2017.
If I know about family business, then you have me to contend with other media warriors. This is a must that you have to leave them alone. Because when you have a son to get our leader, who is a senior brother, I want you to IPOB to try it. I want to walk in, I want to walk in, I want to walk in. I want you to walk in, I want to walk in. Where is your brother? You told me that brother was on the mountain praying. To pass, I have better number one. To pass, the one that I cannot be foot. I'm on the mountain. That's what you told me. That he's on the mountain praying. So, the enemy captured your brother, and you're telling me that your brother was on the mountain praying. And you are not giving a shit to come and be attacking the people who are trying to send their brother that you allowed to get into the hand of the enemy and to taken away. You're not ashamed. You feel like Nnennaya after that simpler act of yours, and the IPOB came to protect you, to save you, to cover you against the traitors. We are now for that IPOB media warriors as number one. Which we are. We are number one. I don't know about it. So therefore, so many people, when I mentioned Nnennaya Anya, people were talking, people were shouting, people were saying, don't go there, don't go there. And everything I said about her was true. Apart from the insult I gave to her, which I apologized for. It was after that my insult on Nnennaya Anya that I now have I have a call on the line. Let's call out the line. Welcome to the program. Hello. Yeah, I meet you. My name is Mazi Jidov. Welcome to I'm calling from Dakar. Welcome, my brother. Go ahead and make a contribution, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm like this what I actually come to contribute is how can you figure because to me, I am Hello? Mazi, your network is not okay. Your network is not okay at all. Please, can you kindly take your network and call me back? The line is open for those who want to contribute to this program. Your line is not okay. Please, you can call back. And when you call, I'm going to answer your call. You can call back, bro. If you call again, I'm going to answer your call. The line is open. You call and it hangs. So any call that comes in now, I will take it. But do not forget that it is Kanunta Kanu that was preaching his madness. Kanunta Kanu and his media beggar, star beggar, known as Master Prophet. Pastor Wakaini Boku had this afternoon, or this morning, or even depending on where you are. They are the people we are discussing about here. Yes, Kanunta Kanu. He came to call the whole media warriors, the tactical media warriors. You can imagine what it means. Calling us the tactical media warriors. Take Kenya. Hello, Mazi, you're back. Go ahead. So, freedom fighting, and in every message, everybody participates in a different perspective. And to me, but to me, based on the and the evidence now begin to come in this manner. To me, as Mazi Jidov Combo, this program now, to me, I'm just saying on my own view, or much needed for you, can you defend the way yourself, telling people what really happened. Always like your caption that you have been vindicated, just that right up alone will give them more reason to think. Because as we are explaining this thing bit by bit now, many people will participate in the message, right? And we are going to start the fight again. That is, them and I in a very big array of this. And they are fighting us in a different country. And we think in a way whereby it will create more downfall to the struggle. No, I disagree. Based on narration, many people will partake as the term. Hold on, man, before you complete. I disagree with you on this. You are saying I'm not against you. I hear you. I'm not against your opinion, but I disagree with that opinion. That's what I'm saying now is going to cause trouble. We are fighting to restore a nation, not a kindred. mean that it's not right now. This is something that people don't do. When I was talking about Nnennaya Anya, when I was talking about the ESN form, when I was talking about the master profit, people say, no, sometimes you know that wrong time. If I had stopped it there and stopped all this rubbish, the reason why that had all this rubbish that is talking now. But this guy is struggling and they are trying to create a lot of serious problems in the background that all of you do not know. And when I was thinking that, I was like, okay, people know what is outside. All of them are talking now. Everyone has found this. So my brother, that opinion of the necessary where is wrong because Kanunta is out there tweeting, talking against the US, telling the US about the topic is the same. I get it now. And you didn't tell Kanunta that this is not the time to say this. But me that if you're now trying to straighten it, to put Kanunta in the correct order, you are telling me that it's not right now. My brother, I can't do that. Please, I want you to wrap up.
Okay, Mazi, I understood you very, very, very well based on the way you are narrating it. But on my own side of picture is an area whereby I watched Ikenga yesterday when he was lamenting about that, and I know many of all these things are happening. These things you are really saying, nobody is doubting you, and as you are narrating it, everybody is recalling your initial program at the beginning, that time. Now, with all these things, where I'm not really comfortable about is about family. Concerning the deep about the family, you explain about you talk something about the family based on the master prophet marrying princess, and this one to me, I'm just saying on my own perspective, it's not even needed in the struggle. You go straight on the master and hit it, and we continue. Because enemy, he might even try to narrate it to that, but to many people will not picture it in that what you are trying to bring, because it's a message you are trying to bring. That's why you touch all those places. But not every one of us has the great capacity to have that, to understand what you are trying to bring to the layman understanding. That is on my own aspect. But to Mazi stated that whoever that stand on this part of the struggle, freedom fighting, and we must continue following on that work. But coming to heal our family, both marital and so, I don't think it's needed in this. I thank you for your program, and I'm hearing you.
My brother, listen to me. You see, I'm about you. I want to share our way to my brain. I can't just say, people who doesn't know who is Master Prophet will ask who is this. Master Prophet is talking and supporting Nnennaya Anya and the Kanunta Kanu in terms of finance because he's married to Nnennaya Anya's sister. And that is why I made mention that he got married to Nnennaya Anya's sister, and in the first place he was not supposed to. Because some go marry. So where did I go wrong about talking about this? If Master Prophet tells that what I said is wrong, let me be out in platform. Let him call me on his platform. Let me finish it completely. So when the Master Prophet, hold on. The Master Prophet now I think the moment go
we are trying to bring our points of view on one and what in as much as we are fighting, I respect everyone's family. Like when you talk about I think we are starting with Wasuki about, and the same thing now we are talking now, the same thing Major people was talking before. So many of us, many of these things, but I know our words was guided and also continue.
before he continues with the next caller, I want to chip in something here. That is the sentiment I am talking about. The first caller, the other caller, called only to defend Master Prophet and to defend Kanunta Kanu and to defend Nnennaya Anya by trying to plead with Darlington not to continue exposing this kind of issue, trying to compare him to Nelly Ofebu, who was in the same thing and where it has landed us. And that is what Darlington is clarifying him about, telling him that he is doing a contrast work to that of Nelly Ofebu. Nelly Ofebu actually came to destroy the Biafra struggle. But the reason she has succeeded to cause problems among the IPOB members is because of the weaknesses, this kind of issue. Nelly has previously made mention of Kanunta Kanu, Nnennaya Anya, and all of the people Darlington is mentioning here, meaning that she actually has the same information. But the difference is that Nelly Ofebu has an ulterior agenda. So Nelly Ofebu has destructive agenda, while Mazi Okpaleze Chukwubikem has constructive agendas for his expose. It is either we fight evil to rebuild, or we fight evil to destroy. Nelly Ofebu, Simon Ekpa, and the rest of them, they were using the criminality going on in IPOB against IPOB, and they aiming at hijacking the struggle and to market the struggle to the whomsoever that has sent them, or they will just keep on merchandising the struggle the way they are doing. So that is their own program. But we, Mazokpaleze became like myself, what we do is to see the evil, we attack the evil, we attack those perpetrating the evil, only to ensure that the IPOB Code of Conduct rules and the discipline and the principle for the progress of the Biafra struggle is not barricaded. That is our own work. It is our own work. It is what we are doing, disciplinary service. Why these people, we are manipulative. This, not even we are, they are, because they have been consistent to manipulating people even until today. They have come to divide people among the members of the IPOB. Now today, many have followed the autopiloters, then other set of people have followed the Iduists. And then now I am a member of the IPOB Truth Bearers, where we have the IPOB still under the leadership of the DOS, which I myself and many others call the political solutionists of IPOB. But these things are not supposed to be so. So then the problem is part of the last caller, who is sentimental, who does not want to face the reality, and at the same time he does not want others to face the reality. He is trying to let us keep quiet. And I don't know whom the caller is. If you follow, if you can investigate very well about who is this caller, you have to realize that either he is a friend, a good friend to Master Prophet or to Kanunta Kanu, or somehow related to them, or maybe being an IPOB member who is also a shareholder in the financial fraud in IPOB, because the progress to exposing all those people into financial fraud in IPOB will be extended to many other people. So some other people will not, those who are responsible for it, or those who are sentimental because of favoritism, will not like it to progress. But however, we can never succeed if we do not progress to exposing these people and be dealing with them accordingly.
I have to compliment your work. Yes. You are okay. At the home. Are you hearing me, Mazi? The word is hearing you. Go ahead, my brother. Mazi, are you hearing me? Yes, yes. The word is hearing you. Go ahead. Okay, I have to create another story. I don't accept that. What you did today, what the Kenga did yesterday and today as well, and what Methuselah did as well, is the right thing. We are fighting for a nation here. And we must fight this nation as upright as possible. That is why somebody like me is involved in this agitation. Because I always follow the truth. This being that IPOB is like every other evil organization, you wouldn't have seen somebody like me. What we are doing, we must be wiser than wide where needed. And now it is needed. We people will be using it for their own personal needs. I'm working here. Every IPOB member that I know is working. So, and nobody else has time as the national coordinator. I do not. So, I do not expect anybody to be benefiting from the. Everybody is genuine and consequences. I do not accept that. If you are a criminal, it does not know who you are. In order to be a relative to that, it is not needed in this struggle. Nobody will appreciate you, nobody will recommend you, and nobody should defend them. It doesn't matter who they are. This is why we are here in IPOB. This is why somebody like me is in IPOB. And this is why we listen to Nnennaya Anya. So there is no room to accommodate a criminal or whoever. It will not happen. If we keep on accommodating criminals, then what we people of criminals, and that is unacceptable. Magic, what you guys are doing are exceptional. You are like me. You are IPOB. With that. There is no way we can be where we are today. It does not matter what the history tells us. How the history, it does not matter. What we need are the real men, the real people who understand what we are doing. They can tell me the way they want, it doesn't matter. It will not stop me from contributing. Because what we are doing, what me, myself, is doing, is to fight for the future of my children. We are in Europe, we see how everything is done. We have players who have big eyes and understand that there is no room for a person in the Western world. These are the reasons we are fighting what we are fighting. So we cannot be covering all of it. And somebody somewhere is going to maybe or trying people up. Nobody is stupid. Nobody is stupid. Nobody can accept that. So now, let me ask you one question before I go. Go ahead. I listened to your broadcast from the beginning to the end. Now, from what you said here, we are not putting any allegation to nobody, or there are some irregularities that shouldn't happen due to the personality and the relationship with somebody you are discussing. Now, what could be the role of many of people in all of all this?
Good and fine. Nnennaya Anya was given a position that is very, very sensitive in this struggle by our leader. And I will never worry our leader's authority. Who am I? And because of that sensitive position that she was given, Nnennaya Anya knew a lot in the struggle. And those things that she knew it because of that position that was given to her. Now, the issue of what happened in Kenya, like I said before, I do not know. I repeat.
So, what Nnennaya Anya knows about the Biafra struggle, that happened because she was given a strategic position in the Biafra struggle by Nnennaya Kanu. So this is a confirmation that there is no doubt that Nnennaya Anya actually have the information, the proper information of things happening in IPOB, but she has ulterior motive at the same time. Now he's talking about what happened in Kenya.
Exactly who sold Nnennaya Kanu. But they told me, revealing to me before it happened, that somebody very close to our leader will sell him. And Master was outside. I posted it on my platform to say, Biafrans pray for Master because somebody very close to him is going to betray
allow to know about the finance. When you're not working out, are you listening to me? And the whole world is listening. So, I know. Thank you. So, if Nelly was not allowed to submit Nnennaya Anya, and out of her own impatience and whatever might be her plan, she went offline and began to do things and began to talk about about ritual or whatever, which is not even what we are talking about here. Then Nelly should stand to face every problem that is coming her way. So her own game, the role she played in this whole shenanigans was that when she was not given the opportunity to penetrate, to know how money was coming in and how money was going out, Nnennaya block, she became angry and began to form her own cabal. Then she was with Madam Oyibo doing their own thing, which I was not even interested. My interest was to make sure that this money that is due for this man in the bushes is given to them. If you follow what happened there, that is where they say I got myself into problem, because I was asking them to release this money to these people, and that was the only mistake they say I made, that I began to expose Nnennaya. So my dear brother, the involvement of Nelly in the wrong way started exactly when Nelly wrote an article on the news, let's say, that POS is compromised, that they are going to take over from POS. That is when I condemned everything that Nelly was saying. Are you getting my point? That is when I condemned everything that woman was saying. So if you ask me her own involvement, that is where I saw her involvement coming. If there's any other thing that she did, I don't know, in regards to these whole things that happened, or whatever she must have caused. But to tell you the gospel truth, the problem started from the moment she wanted to investigate Nnennaya Anya. It made the fun, because our leader gave her that sensitive position to be worldwide auditor. You know what it is, man? When you see someone that is holding money that belongs to people, there's a problem. Sorry to interrupt you, Mazi. Sorry to interrupt you. When did Kanunta Kanu give her this mandate to audit the general account in Germany? When was it? Was it before the decision of Mazi or after? Please, could you update your public, please? My brother, the moment she was made the auditor of IPOB worldwide was the moment that she had right to audit the IPOB fund. I get it. That moment that Onion declared it and gave it to her and announced her as the audit general, she had right to audit Nnennaya Anya. Am I correct or not? Yeah, you are correct. Thank you. It's just like an general of the federation. Once you make somebody, give for somebody an office of an accountant general of a federation, you are giving that person rights to take account of everything happening in that country. There is no limitation. But because she was not allowed to get there, if it is working for us in the positive side, thanks be to God. If it's working for us that she didn't get there, is what I'm talking about. If it's working in the negative side, let us look at it. Because that is where the problem started from. That is where the problem started from. Mazi, thank you so much. This case is very, very complicated. I've been trying to analyze the whole thing. Thank you. It is hard that you cannot connect this from this. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for your good job. I will be watching you, Mazi. Have a good day. Thank you. Tuesday, my brother. Yes. I will not say because Nelly is now doing something that is wrong. I will not say anything. Excuse me. Welcome to this program at the hotel. Now we are calling for kids. In the hall, I joined a foundation mother. Thank you, brother. Go ahead. Your name, my name is Barrington, but I've only changed that name already. Since I've only changed your own, I've only changed my everything you are doing, we are observing, we are seeing everything. So, my prayer for you first of all is, they keep you alive. Bless you, give you more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to tackle some certain things. Also, I want to use your platform to greet the kingdom for his steadfastness, faith bestowed upon him. Also, and my greeting also extend to Chika Edosium, Mad Chika Edosium. May the same power that bestowed upon our leader, Nnennaya Anya, be upon him in the name of Jesus. Okay, now, first of all, what I want to chip in here is based on the issue at hand. Kanunta Kanu. I want to let you know, I know you might be listening with another fake account. I want you to know, first and foremost, that Nnennaya Kanu is not only his brother. Nnennaya I can't hear you anymore, bro. Are you still there? Your network is fluctuating. Oh my God. You say yes. Can you hear me? Yes, your network hangs. Hello. Continue. Can you hear me, bro? Continue. Can you hear me? Continue, yeah. Okay. I say, to keep in here is, I want Kanunta Kanu to know that Nnennaya Kanu is not only his brother. He is a father of the nation. The way he has right to Nnennaya Kanu as his brother is the way we have right to Nnennaya Kanu as our father, as our leader. And anybody that will come in Nnennaya Kanu, be you are going to be coached. We have lost so many men. I lost my elder brother, the same mother, the same father because of this struggle. I lost my elder brother, the same mother, the same father because of this struggle. And I have vowed that I'm going to do everything possible within my power to continue. So let this message get to him to clear away. We have so many evidence, even me personally, I have my personal evidence against this Kanunta Kanu. He must be very, very careful. He must be very, very careful. And when our leader comes out, my message goes to anybody that involved in the kidnapping and betraying of our leader. We can never forget and we can never forgive. Be it anybody, we can never forget. So, I want to keep in also to the issue of Nnennaya Anya. Nnennaya Anya, if you are genuine in spirit, pure in heart, there is no means, there is no reason you will say or insist that Chika Edosium will not investigate you. Automatically, something must be wrong somewhere. Of course. Something fishy must be wrong somewhere. You must be investigated. This morning, without this morning, our men on ground are finished. And we must do.
I like this last comment this scholar had made, that Nnennaya Anya is not above being investigated by Chika Edosium. That is true. But is Chika Edosium interested to investigate Nnennaya Anya? That is another factor. Is interested. If he is actually interested to investigate her, why has he not investigated her since starting from August last year till now, which has been 11 months, and by next month now it will complete 1 year since the issue of Nnennaya Anya had arisen, and as a result of the failure to investigate her for any reason, this struggle had been drawn back some step, has drawn some step backward. That is the truth of the whole matter. Is Chika Edosium really interested to investigating Nnennaya Anya? That is another thing. Because if Chika Edosium is serious with it, Nnennaya Anya is not above being investigated. After all, she is being accused. So she is responsible to account for the Biafrans and to let us know how the money was, or the money that has been spent are legitimately spent, or maybe manipulatively siphoned from the General Biafran force under her possession. So that we know how the way forward, where we are, where we started from, and where we'll be going to, what should be our next line of action, and what should be our next target, starting from where we are right now. So that is the essences of this investigation. And if Nnennaya Anya is above investigation, everybody in IPOB should also be above investigation, because she is subject to IPOB. IPOB is not subject to her. We are subject to her based on when she is subject to the law ruling IPOB, and as a leader will be subject to her. And that law, most especially regarding financial rules in IPOB, financial management. But if she goes beyond boundary and begin to rebel against the Biafra struggle, against the IPOB structure, then she will be dealt with. She will be dealt with accordingly. That is what the caller has just pointed out, which I have explained better for ease of understanding, and for our people not to keep remaining under mental slavery to believe that there are those who are above of being scrutinized and checkmated and being policed, for us to know the truth and to acknowledge the truth, because only the truth can set us free from this shackle we are into.
Everything to protect our men on ground. Nobody will stand. Yes, you're coming. I want you to round up, please. Quickly round up. Okay. So that I can give other people time to contribute. Yeah, please round up. I'm saying Chika Elohim, we are praying for him, and he will do everything within his power to investigate Nnennaya Anya. The same power bestowed upon our leader, Nnennaya Kanu, and the absence of our leader, Nnennaya Kanu, Chika Elohim is the next eye we are seeing. So, Nnennaya Anya tells us now that if it is Nnennaya Kanu that wanted to investigate on her, she will say no, automatically something is wrong somewhere. Let me not go far. Kanunta Kanu have had our message to him. He has to clear a way. And my brother, I want to beg you on one thing. Please, in the name of our leader, Nnennaya Kanu, don't deviate. Just keep on the way you are. Thank you. Keep on the way you are. We beg, because those of you at the front line, we are seeing everything. Please don't deviate. Don't deviate. No amount of persecution, accusation, insult, embarrassment upon you to make you to deviate. Please. Thank you. It's okay, my name is. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. To carry you that are in front of us are the ones carrying the main bullet we are seeing more than abroad. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much, brother. It's well with you. We are here. Mazekweme, you've been calling. Please, you can call back again. You can call back now, because the line was very, very busy when you are calling before. You can call back now, please. Call back, Mazekweme. The line is open for you to call. I was answering call before, and there's no how I can stop his call and answer yours. Go ahead and call. We are here, and I must always tell you the truth. And I intend to stop this program very, very, very soon. As this I've answered 2 calls. Remaining maybe 1 or more 2 calls, then I'll bring this. Then answer this call. Welcome to the program, as I said, Mazekweme. After the whole, that's why I want to come. Thank you very much, my brother. Go ahead. I know you. But don't want to bless it. So, first of all, if I can get, I want to go to the water. So, all that I go into, I got a piano when you see. Also, I take a chicken to the mountain. Yes. So, table to the water. When you
So Kanunta Kanu omeko too much. Omeko too much. Too much. When you want your gauge, after all, straight and water. When you make everything, what should not Nigerian government and England the poor land can go again? No. Okay, let me attack. I need a pair. No. Okay, look at that. I don't know. No, we think of something. Hey, when those not the highest, then I think you are going to like one everybody. Man, Nnennaya, what are you going to do? I'm on a some place. She can yell, she has a woman. I'm so okay. Not people here. This week, Master Poppy, what they take. Now, you and the kind of how you do in that. I am when Nnennaya, what will be said? When I was all I will go to one year, I think that all that guy know. And the only you say here and I thought, don't do too much. And I do too much. One of the things I know of a man, wow, you get that pension. That day, after doing Yoruba, Biafra, make you go one home and can understand and grand stage. And the issue is to Biafra. Nnennaya was in a project for about 300 kids on that planet. Oh, no, they're not that skin. Can't afford it. Yeah. But the profit afford it. Oh, you have to. Nnennaya can't reach the agreement within that Bazonia. Now, when can't have you know, not this pension. Nnennaya, you know, can't live and share worship. So, no, part of how okay. You think it's not simple. Look at this is the number of one in together. So, I focus. You don't follow the onion to the after. I can expect onion to put that and the cat over the book. But I can I told you, inside the class, I can everybody. You can't Nnennaya Anya, go to the criminal and what is the human. All that, don't you think you like for me?
Yes, his comments and his perspective are very, very correct. But the problem we have there is that Nnennaya Anya has been wrong for not permitting Mazi Chikedozem to be checkmating her regarding the finance. That is accountability and audit, at least among the DOS members. It is very, very important, even if there is no audit among other entities, but that the DOS members should be knowing how the money are being raised and why and how they are being spent, to knowing whether they are being spent for the right purpose or not, or they are being embezzled by those who do the fundraising. Nnennaya Anya announcing from fund collection, her collecting the money and keeping the money without accounting to anybody, including Mazi Chikedozem. Then the worst of it is most of IPOB members defending Nnennaya Anya, including broadcasters, defending Nnennaya Anya. No, don't talk about her. No, she's finance officer. No, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has trusted her. At times, talking as people who do not actually understand what they are doing and the road to progress. They will use sentiment and nepotism and hypocrisy to cover the truth, the facts, and the reality. These are part of the problems. And they are the people who have been helping her to be sustaining that financial monopolization. Let us not just say for the past years, because according to Prince Arlington in the part 8, in the previous video I made, Nnennaya Anya had been IPOB finance minister worldwide for 7 years, and without any audit, nobody checkmating her. But since the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that has aroused many conflicts and internal crisis, it is still IPOB media warriors that protect Nnennaya Anya from being investigated. That is a problem we are having, protecting the dubious people among us, protecting crimes and criminality. And that will also arouse suspects against the IPOB media warriors that protect Nnennaya Anya in this regard. What should be their interest? What is the motive behind them protecting her? Or do they have their own financial fraud? Or maybe Nnennaya Anya give them some share? Who knows? I'm not accusing anybody. This is just my own speculation. Because I see no justifiable reason why anybody in IPOB will come up to be protecting Nnennaya Anya from being investigated and from her accounting for the money she gets on the behalf of IPOB.
Oh, please. Okay, so Nnennaya Anya na-aloketa. Ọ na-alụ Chikedozem mụbụba ọya etu onye nga nọrọ ya ya nwa na-eche ife niile ọ na Nnennaya ụlọ nwere ife ọra haịdị Chikedozem ya mee akantọ ya mere akantọ mere akantọ gosi evidence ọ mere ọ na-eme ndị onye nwa ya nwa kafara Nnennaya nna onye nwe onye nwanyị ha tụtụkwanye iwere nwanyị o iwere weta ka ha prọsachọ iwu nwoke tutu nwaanyị ya kiafụ
My brother, I have displayed your money. So I displayed from any attack on Chikedozem is an attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and it's an attack on the IPOB leadership and general movement. So I have another call on the line. This person is calling from Germany.
It is true. Any attack on Chikedozem is an attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, an attack on the entirety of the IPOB members. That is true. Then any negligence by Chikedozem is also a negligence by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and a negligence by the entirety of the IPOB members. And as we know, if Chikedozem neglects to investigate Nnennaya Anya for whatever reason, it means that on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Chikedozem has neglected to investigate Nnennaya Anya, and the entirety of IPOB members have neglected to investigate Nnennaya Anya, and that amounts to our failure, our weakness and everything. So I won't accept it to be attack. That is according to Darlington. You know, in many occasions they misinterpret rebuke and admonishment to be attack. They regard it to be attack. Man, Onishi leader, this thing you are doing this way is not good, or you have to change it. This cannot help us. They will interpret it to be attack. That is where they play their own hypocrisy. Irrespective of all the truth he has been saying, this is a part of his own hypocrisy. Attack can only be when Chikedozen is right and someone condemn or insult him or discredit his right doing. Attack can never be when Mazi Chikedozen is doing anything wrong and someone tells him it is wrong, that he has to change the method or the pattern. Irrespective of whosoever say it, it can never be attack. So while we are talking about correcting the corrupt people, we will also be talking about not trying to hush people down from pointing out errors going on among the leaders. That is, checkmating is not an attack. It is also a means to checkmating the leaders, whether they are living up to their responsibilities or not. It is our duty to be doing so. We are running an accountable leadership. The reason we are suffering from what we are suffering is because of the running of non-accountable leadership. The example is in Nnennaya Anya. But the accountable leadership demand that if the organization has decided that there will be a financial audit every 6 months, it will be so. People will be entrusted to the audit. Every 6 months, they call up the financial ministers and ministresses of high and low categories to know how much that comes in, how the money comes in, why the money comes in, and how the money and why it was spent, to investigate them to ensure that that IPOB fund is not mismanaged. But as a result of the consistent negligence of financial accountability from the high authority, then they become so rich to the extent they began to have a second thought of even continuing to hoard IPOB money, to the extent some people may be able to consider selling Nnennaya Anya out to keep making money, so that they will keep on making the money and nobody should be querying them. Before you know it, they will just destroy the IPOB struggle. So we shouldn't be regarding it as an attack, because this is what we are saying. We, the IPOB truth bearers, we made mention of it in our memo. That every question or every correction, every error pointed out against the DOS was regarded as an attack by the DOS and their sentimental supporters. So, Darlington, you should try not to be sentimental when you're talking about the DOS. I'm not encouraging anybody to be insulting them, but let us be realistic in whatever we are doing. The DOS are not above corrections.
I don't know what happened. I answered this person and the call dropped. I answered this person and the call dropped. Please, you can call back the caller. Call back. Yeah, welcome to the program as a host. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, Mazi.
Yes, welcome to the program.
My name is Mazi Chinedu. Yeah, I'm calling from Germany. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, I want to correct one wrong assertion or impression. Nelly is not IPOB. I think if I'm not correct, someone should correct me. Nelly is IPOB asset and recovery person, and not IPOB auditor. I don't know if that is clear. I don't know. I've not heard her refer to herself as auditor. referring to ourselves as IPOB Assets and Recovery Person. So if that is correct, I mean we shouldn't send a wrong message from your. Can I say sorry?
No, hold on. Let me clarify you. You should have asked me a question. If you had asked me to explain to you, then I will explain. I will give you back up. The explanation is that I don't want us to go.
Okay.
Listen, I don't want us to go into talking about Nelly on this platform. Okay? That I don't want to talk about the gossip being because when I say something now, you people will twist it and begin to use it to say something that I didn't say. If Nelly was not an auditor, how would have Nelly discovered the $75,000 that Masoko and Oslumba wanted to eat in IPOB? It was Nelly who discovered it, and our leader.
Now, I said I stand to be corrected. Okay. But from all I've been hearing about Nelly, she has not referred to herself as auditor.
My dear, she was an auditor and assets recovery of IPOB worldwide. That was she is. And that is why she was able to find out some loopholes there.
Because we shouldn't send it wrong.
No, this platform is not where you said wrong information. If there's anyone I said maybe mistakenly, I will still apologize. But this particular one now, forget about it. Whether it's assets recovery, whatever, as long as she is overseeing how our fund is being used and how it comes, and those who are taking away our fund, what is she? What is her work? Somebody who is taking it away.
No, assets recovery. Wait, sorry. Please. Let us get this thing clear. Asset recovery cannot be the same as an auditor.
Which asset?
Understand it. Asset recovery.
Hold on. Which asset? Which asset?
I think this office was created after some members, when they are expelled or when they are removed from their position, they refuse to hand over IPOB properties in their possession. That is why this office was created. So,
including money. Those who have our money.
Including money. But yes, reality, including money, yes. If somebody is holding our money, now she'll be the person to go and reclaim that money from the person. Anybody. I don't think she has that position to audit any account.
So how will she recover the money without auditing the person to know if the person is having the money or not? Are you not going to go into
She won't be sent to go and do that. I'm not arguing with you, but I'm just saying, let us make sure that we are getting the right message. I have not heard the position like to be as an auditor.
Brother, she is assets recovery of IPOB worldwide and Brazil. Because she needs to audit to know if you are taking that money or not. She needs to audit. Okay, if I tell you now that the coordinator in Maryland is having $20,000 belonging to IPOB, that you should go and recover it as an assets recovery head.
Yes.
How would you do that without going into audit?
Yes. I would do that with documents handed to me by those who have audited her. I mean, who have audited that account or who have audited that IPOB member. And, these things are two different positions. Auditor and asset recovery, one person cannot do it. One person will audit and the other one will be sent to go and reclaim the money or the property.
Brother, when Martin Nnennaya come out, he will be the one that will tell us who Nelly was in IPOB.
Exactly.
The issue of Nelly is not because listen, the issue of Nelly is not what I want us to discuss here. Now, the person that asked me about Nelly,
I understand.
I explained that to her. But why is she a Muslim auditor?
Yeah.
Why does she have the right to ask Nnennaya Anya to show about the fall of IPOB and Nnennaya say no? Is it because she's not an auditor? She has the right. Doesn't she have the right?
Mazi Chikelusem has IPOB as it is at the moment is answerable to Mazi Chikedo. It is undisputable. Nobody can dispute that. Anybody who refuses to be answerable to Mazi Chikedo, Mazi Chikedo can fire the person.
That is what we should be talking about. It's not about Nelly. Nelly is gone, done and dusted.
Yes.
Now we need to be talking about, because that person asked that question, what was happening?
Pray.
My brother.
Please, I am not allowed. Please, I'm not coming from the other side though. I mean, this is the first time I'm calling on online program. Some people who know me, if I introduce myself, they will know, but I don't want to introduce myself. Okay, probably. I've just told you my name, and I'm calling from Germany. Those who know me know the position I occupy in Germany. But that is not the point. What we're saying here is IPOB does not have two leadership. We have one leadership headed by Nnennaya Anya. And in that sense, I think people make argument that Mazi is still there. It's still there. So Chika's powers are limited. That is bullshit. Mazi Chikedo is the leader that we have at the moment. We know our leader is somewhere and he's coming to join us very soon. But at the moment, Chika is not able to oversee every department in IPOB.
Thank you. This is what we're talking about. Thank you. This is what you'll be talking about. This is exactly what you'll be talking about.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
God bless. Now, that's correct. You see, I don't want to go into the issue of auditor and asset recovery, because it is, as long as Nelly is concerned now, it's no longer interesting to talk about. It's no longer important because he's out. Okay? Let's focus on why is Chikedozie not being allowed by Nnennaya Anya to trace what is happening with IPOB finance. Why? And this
The last caller just called to argue. He never made any strong point regarding the issue on board. The issue on board is Nnennaya Anya and the Kanunta Kanu have been embezzling IPOB fund. Whether Nelly's involvement or not, they should be checkmated. They should be investigated. And even if IPOB does not have access and fund financial recovery access leader like Nnennaya Anya, this is a doctrine of necessity because of accusation and the things going wrong. Chikedozie will always just give order that Nnennaya Anya and Nnennaya Anya should be scrutinized. There should be a financial audit against Nnennaya Anya as a matter of investigation. Then Mazi Chikedozie will point out people announcing their name, those who will run as the auditors to checkmate Nnennaya Anya. Then this issue began when Nelly Ofebo was still inside before she was expelled. So this caller is not talking. This caller is just talking from an absolute sentimental perspective against Nelly. That is what he has just come to do. And so far Nelly's name is mentioned, let us stop talking about this money. That is his own hypocritical perspective where he is talking and trying to turn the issue to an argument. So Nelly was still inside of IPOB as at then before she was expelled. She was not even expelled because she demanded for audit against Nnennaya Anya. Rather, she was expelled because she was among the people who planned coup against the members of the DOS to overthrow the DOS and take over. That is the reason she was expelled. So, having said so, Nnennaya Anya is a financial fund and assets recovery of IPOB. She has every authority to call upon anybody that has any IPOB property, including money, in the person's possession, to ask, how is the money doing whenever any matter arises. Then the caller was arguing whether Nnennaya Anya is an auditor or what. There is no personal There is no individual that audits a people's fund anywhere. No, it is not done that way. Nelly Ofebu is the asset and the fund recovery officer. As long as she has demanded the accountability from Nnennaya Anya, the proper way is that Chika Edozen should call upon Nnennaya Anya and say, Madam, we IPOB, as a result of what is going on, demand an accountability from you regarding our funds in your possession for 7 years. Then, after having said so, Nnennaya Anya, if where things are done very well and where there is appropriate discipline, Nnennaya Anya have no reason to say no. She has no reason to say no, because what is in her possession is not her private money. It is money belonging to the entirety of IPOB. The only thing she will do is to provide her own information, while a team of auditors will be set. There will be a team of auditors will be set. Then they will audit Nnennaya Anya, and being supervised by Chikedoziem and Nelly Ofebu to confirm to Biafrans whether the accountability had been all right or not. Nnennaya Anya has no authority to say no over it. It is as a result of insubordination and the rebellion against the highest authority of IPOB, that is in the possession of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and assisted by Mazi Chika Edoziem. And for IPOB not to persuade Nnennaya Anya to give account of the money in her possession, that is where people began to observe that Mazi Chika Edoziem had been weakling regarding to controlling some of the DOS members like Nnennaya Anya. And as a result, more suspects arise both against Chika Edoziem and the rest of the members of the DOS, that people began to think perhaps they have their own corruption that they want to cover permanently, and maybe this financial audit against Nnennaya Anya will reflect on them somehow. Or Nnennaya Anya has also threatened them, knowing their own secret, by letting them know that if they should checkmate her and expose her for any financial embezzlement, she will also bounce back on them to expose them for their own criminality, either financially or otherwise. So we began to have secondary thoughts, and we have to think otherwise concerning the whole issue. So in essence, the people who have caused the problem are Nnennaya Anya and the Chika Edoziem, and not really Nelly. Nnennaya Anya, by withholding the money and refusing to account, and the Mazi Chika Edoziem, who has failed to compel her to account for the money, or she will be suspended pending investigation. That is what the Umada then demanded. So they were right for that, but they were not right to plan a coup against the leadership. And they were not right, and they will never be right for attaching any ulterior motive to that move for the investigation. And as I say, some of them capitalize on that weaknesses of the DOS regarding this issue plus other matters to begin their commercial Biafra agitation in the guise of Iduism and the autopilot.
That's what I have just confirmed. That's for sure. Truthfully, Chika doesn't have every right, every power, including the media. Oh my goodness, you guys are looking at the very quiet. Is that the reason why? No. You have the right over every department in this movement. Chika doesn't have the right to talk about innocent or call their commanders to ask them what is happening on the ground. To just wait, whoever that is looking after them or looking after them, Chika doesn't have right to talk to them direct. I feel the position of March now as it is. This is the point we should be talking about, not talking about Nelly or no Nelly. Nelly is now of it too. It's no longer of Biafra. It's of it too. So let's forget about it. Because the person that called after that asked me this question, he thought I was not going to answer him. And I did answer him. And what I said is exactly what I knew. It's not easy to handle people's
Logic.
Because what we have into it.
Logic.
Try to divide the truth and make it look like lie. Why what you're saying is truth. So my brothers and my sisters on this platform,
logic and controversy.
That showed me at the talk. Somebody called a few minutes ago where I was answering this person. And that person that called, please, you can call again because when you called before, I was online with someone else. So you can call, let it be the last caller. You can call again after this call. I will close the program. Yes. The caller calling again. Welcome to this program. As the phone, your name and where you're calling from. Welcome to the naturally, in absence of Nnennaya Anya. Yes, you have control. You're supposed to get control. All of everything as far as that theory is concerned. I don't understand that man fully well. Ever fear the God? Something of the home in this people. Ever fear the God? Fear is no face. Fear is getting his daily bread, his food to eat and to pay his house rent. That is where he's getting. And that is where Nnennaya is. So continue.
He's talking about matter profits.
So they have to be very careful because if I have a maker, as far as in absence of onion, so anything, any instruction that comes from Mazi that is going to be Biafrans are going to listen to. And the Nnennaya Anya supposed to obey Mazi, that's all. That is my own opinion. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, my brother. God bless you. This is the battle that has been lingering on from the inside for a very long time. And I saw it at any stage, and I wanted to hit it very hard and stop it. But I was not allowed to do so. And I thank God now that it is coming out. And I've been vindicated up and down, right, left and center. But however, somebody wrote and said, presenting deserves an apology from IPOB Media Warriors and the movement that said, no, let them keep the apology. When you're going to apology, what? Excuse me, what is it? We are moving forward and the answer must come in our own lifetime. But the question is asking yourself is 3 questions I want to throw before I go. One, why did Nnennaya Caroline Okalafo updated Nnennaya Kanu's war that is coming on live program 5 days after he was kidnapped? Secondly, why did Kanunta Kanu, who is now calling us the tactical media warrior, why did he told me, I didn't tell you, he told someone else, why did he told me that Mazi was on mountain praying? Instead of that Mazi has been kidnapped. Then, this question is very, very important. Then definitely, as I said, why is Nnennaya Anya refusing for to know the happenings within the finance of IPOB? Very, very, very important. By the time you answer these questions, you will arrive at a place that will help you to know why they constantly attacking me, why they have been constantly attacking me, using master profit. President is this, President is do that, President is this, President is this, President is this. And this my brother that called before calling when he said that master profit was praying and said that the US told Martin and Nnennaya Anya said the same after he prayed. My brothers and my sisters, I told you that I myself, was communicating with each other within this period of time to know why just have you reached Martin? No. Martin, when did you talk to Martin? It was Sunday. That is that. The US, the leadership of the US doesn't know what happened to Martin at that point in time. The only people that need to know is Nnennaya Caroline Okalafo, Kanunta Kanu, who was the hero with Mass, is like the two persons. And one posted that Mass is coming online. The other one said that Mass is, on the mountain. So when you get answer to these 3 questions, And when Nnennaya refused, the general commander of this movement passed the law, which is you take the access to know how fund is coming and going.
That is Nnennaya rebellion.
I am mass normally to be Kamago Biafran Kemba.
So finally, Biafrans, I'm about to round up. Nnennaya Anya is rebellious to Mazi Chike. The same Nnennaya Anya demand obedience from the rest of IPOB members. And most of the IPOB media warriors supporting that IPOB members should be loyal to Nnennaya Anya, who is rebellious to Chike, and claiming to be protecting the structure. Do you see the height of the level of their hypocrisy? This is the fact that I'm pointing out. The fact that many people may live the rest of their life without discovering. This is what I come to point out and present before us, and to let the people judge, the conscientious people, to be honest among us. How should IPOB members continue to be loyal to Nnennaya Anya when Nnennaya Anya is no longer loyal to Chike? And what will IPOB members say against Chike if Chike demand that we should remain loyal to Nnennaya Anya while Nnennaya Anya is rebellious to him? So this is a question we should reflect upon to know the truth of the whole matter. So to round it up, the truth is that those Nnennaya Anya and some of the high-ranked officers of the IPOB are the people destroying the struggle. Because no junior in the right sense, no junior principal officers outside of the DOS members can impose his or her will on the entirety of the IPOB without the endorsement of the IPOB or of the IPOB DOS. So when the DOS are no longer loyal to the IPOB code of conduct, it means they have triggered the rebellion. It means they have triggered the sabotage. It means they also endorse the sabotage and the crisis going on in IPOB. As you see me, I am a very humble person by nature, but I hate cheating, I hate intimidation, and I hate lawlessness. I can only disobey people when the people are no longer obedient to the rules of law and to the higher authority in the right way. So may God bless you for listening. The program has just come to an end. Until we meet once again, I remain your serviceable servant, evangelist, Nnennaya Anya. I want to respond to this comment. This is
him because he don't want any person to know where he come from. Because
this is not a live broadcast. It is a recorded broadcast. When I recorded it, I have a problem for going live on YouTube as a result of my cut off of StreamYard. Then I recorded it only on Facebook. Now I come to download it on YouTube, in which I have completed it. So regarding this comment by Juan Arellano, say, bro, what are you doing? You come here every day to play people's video. Is this how you are fighting for freedom? What is your contribution in IPOB? Please focus. Okay, that is your own perspective, and it resulted from your misunderstanding and the wrong conception of what I am doing, because I am actually doing the right thing, and what I'm doing is the greatest work we need in IPOB. So I don't know where you want to focus to go to. Yes, I bring people's videos to play. That is true. It is not just playing the video. I play the videos with my own analysis. Then bringing the points the video makers make. I point out where they get it right. I point out where they get it wrong. Then I bring my own analysis with my own knowledge and intelligence to make the content of the video superior. And that is the reason those who have discernment come here to listen. What I'm doing is not common. What I'm doing may not be understood immediately, but it is something I made as a legacy. It is something that I make as legacies for present and the succeeding generations of Biafrans and humanity as a whole. Because you find it difficult to understand the major problems we are having in the Biafra struggle. So the external enemies you want to focus at, they are minor problems to the Biafra struggle. The major problems are the internal enemies, first of all. And beside the internal enemies, they have they have some kind of ill nature that make them to be so corrupt and so ardent to progressing in their corruption. There are things like hypocrisy, sentiment, nepotism, greediness, selfishness, and so on and so forth. All these things are the things that I am fighting against. When I initiated this kind of fight, the IPOB members were against me the same way you are against me now, speaking and condemning it. But I continued with it since 3 years ago. But today, the majority of the broadcasters have joined my system. That is to tell you how I see things before others. It is not just because of me, but it is because of the system I operate, because I operate with the wisdom of God. So I see things from God's own perspective, and that is the reason I am more realistic than barely all of the IPOB members put together. It is not an insult. It is not just a boast. It is beyond a boast to be a truth. And if anybody does not like it, let the person challenge me in being realistic with Biafra struggle and the life in general. So that is what I am doing. I am here fighting against the hypocrisy in IPOB, the lies, the stealing, the fraudulence, the corruption of all sorts, greediness, selfishness, envy, jealousy, fight, contentiousness, even to the extent that even some IPOB members go to the length of poisoning one another, even some people setting others up for assassination. So all those sort of evils, of which I can only mention but few, they are what I am fighting against. Because even if the external enemies stops to fight us, we will begin to fight ourselves as far as all these things are still in existence in IPOB. So what I am doing now is a proactive engagement to ensure that even while we are still pursuing the Biafra restoration, we'll be getting ourselves prepared so that we'll be knowing who is who. We know who should manage what and who should not manage what. It is very, very important. The Nigerian government we are fighting against is as a result of bad management, and we are building a system whereby we will stand against that bad management to establish a good management, and the good management will be managed by human beings. It is not by demons. And the Holy Spirit alone cannot do it. The Holy Spirit will do it through us only if we permit him. But without preparing the people as good vessels, even the Holy Spirit will run away from us. So that is what I'm doing. You are fighting the external enemy while I am building our people who will manage the system. So that is what I'm doing. So as I've said earlier, it is not a live broadcast. So what I'm doing now is just an addendum to this particular record. So bye for now. Until I come your way once again, I remain your serviceable servant, evangelist Nnennaya Anya.